Hi, this is Zoe Cultured and I am Dunamis. And today I'll be talking about relationship goals with God, of course. Every day feels the same without them, but with them, there's always something to look forward to. And if you were like me, there were times of inconsistency in my relationship with God. And these inconsistencies didn't happen because I didn't want to fellowship with Him. Instead, it happened because I kept having the same routine every other day, and there was really nothing to look forward to the point that I felt like I can just do this another day. I can just do my Bible reading, my prayer time tomorrow, because what difference does it make? But the truth is that it actually does make a difference, but it's difficult to quantify or to put a value to that, even though we know that it does. So today I will be sharing with you ideas that can help boost your relationship with God. So the first one is you can have a goal to increase the length of quality time that you have with Him. One of the things that I didn't do so well this year, that I plan to do more of next year, is to actually have a duration of time. That is the minimum time I would have spent with God. And this time has to be a quality time with God. And the good thing about this is that even though it's difficult to actually quantify daily what our work with God does for us, when we have quality time, it keeps us constrained. When we have a time set for fellowship with God, it keeps us constrained, it keeps us eager, it keeps us there with Him until the time is over. And then as the days go by, the months, the years go by, we begin to see the impact of that time that we have with Him. Without that specified time with Him, we might feel like, okay, I'm just going to end now because I don't feel like there's anything more for me to say, or I just feel like I can do this another time. So there is this consistency to keep going every day. If it's 30 minutes minimum time, no matter how you feel, no matter what's happening, you keep on going until that 30 minutes is over. Then something else that you can actually work on is intentional goals to work on the fruits of the Spirit, the fruits of your relationship. So yes, we know that these fruits are produced as a result of the workings of the Spirit of God in us, working these characters in us, but we're also admonished to put them on, right? So we should put on diligence, faith, that we should add to our faith virtue. So you can make this a goal for yourself. So you say, I'm given to the working of the Spirit of God. It can be an intentional journey. It doesn't have to be something that is done without you knowing. You can be conscious of it. So you can tell yourself, you know what, I want to work in gentleness. So I will spend my month reading about gentleness, getting all the scriptures I can get about it, listening to sermon about it, praying about it, asking the Holy Spirit to give me tips on it. And in that way, you grow in it. Then 3, you can also desire heights in God, to reach heights in God. You can desire to experience trance, to experience visioning, where you actually awake and the Lord is showing you things. You can desire dreams. You can desire to see the supernatural. And these are things that God is more eager to show to you, to reveal to you, than you are eager to have for yourself. So this is another goal that you can reach out to in prayer, in study of the word, in listening to ministers that possess the abilities to go into the realm of the Spirit consciously. So these are things that you can also desire to have. Then you can also, number 4, covet the gifts of the Spirit of God. So we have the gifts of wisdom, the word of wisdom, the word of knowledge, the gift of prophecy, amongst others. So you can actually say, this month Or you can say the thing about these gifts is that you can't actually put a time frame to it. But the thing about having a vague time frame, in the sense that you don't have a particular date you're expecting to receive this, but you have a vague time frame, is that it actually sets your mind on it, so that whenever you're even doing other things, your mind is in, this is what I desire, this is what I would covet from the Spirit of the Lord. So desire gifts. Let this be one of your spiritual goals for 2024, to desire the gifts of God, because the gifts of God are given to the sons of God to help them. So Ephesians chapter 4 verse 7 says that when he ascended on high, he led captive a host of captives, and he gave gifts to men. So these gifts, God desires that we covet them for ourselves and for his work. So he gives this for the perfecting of the saints, right? So we should covet this gift as a goal. Have it in mind, have an expectancy to receive these gifts from God, and he will give it willingly to you. Then number 5, you can also decide that the relationship goal for this month, or for 2 months' time, or for the quarter, is to actually spend time intentionally winning souls for God. So this could mean spending 30 minutes in a week winning souls for God, or being intentional about the number of souls. By the end of the month, you have a goal to win 5 souls for God. Winning souls for God is very dear to him. That's one of the primary assignment that God has given to all Christians, to win souls for him. So this should definitely be one of your goals, and find ways to incorporate it. Then number 6 is to increase in sensitivity to the Spirit in your everyday life. So you can have a goal to increase in sensitivity to the Spirit of God. And this is a vital goal that you should look forward to. You should have at least one of the first months in the quarter of the year, the new year, doing this. Because the good thing about this is that it cultivates your mind. It's something that becomes a culture to you. So this goal is all about being intentional about subjecting your mind to the Spirit of God, being intentional about being receptive to the voice of the Spirit of the Lord, so that he can change you, so that you can fellowship with him, even when you're on the go or when you're about doing something, just being sensitive to him. And one way of actually doing this is to ask him. And when he tells you something, don't say, oh, it's just my mind or something. You go with the faith that what you've received is from the Lord, and work with that. So there you have it. These are just 6 goals. And if you spend time with the Spirit of God, ask him for more goals, he is willing to help you. So these are just stepping stones for you. I would admonish you to make them measurable, to make them constrained to time or something, so that you're not vague in your approach, you're not ambiguous in your approach to it. And lastly, just to seal it all up, I will be sharing with you ways that would help you build structure around fulfilling these goals. So it's one thing to have goals, it's another to actually work on them, to actually bring them to fulfillment. So I have 4 things that you should use to structure your goals so that you actually fulfill them. The first one is to think about it. How many goals am I taking up at a time? When you're so eager, you're so ready to go, you might want to feel like, okay, I'm going to go with the 6 goals at once. But the issue with that is that you can easily stretch yourself too thin. You can stretch your focus too thin, that you actually don't actualize any goal at the end of the day. So I would encourage you to have a maximum of 3 goals. Initially, I would even say 1 goal at a time, so that you can put all your focus in it and see the dividends of that goal come to reality. And then number 2, the other thing I would bear in mind to ensure that my goal has a structure to it is to think about what I would do every day to achieve the goal. What would I do every day to achieve the goal? If my goal is to win 5 souls, what can I do today to achieve that goal? Okay, probably it's a busy day, so I wouldn't have time to actually speak to people. But can I pray for the ones that I have spoken to? Can I pray for the ones that I would reach out to? Because these are investments in the Spirit. Remember, we do not win souls by ourselves. It's the Spirit of the Lord that actually does the convictions in the heart of those that we speak to, right? How would they believe the word if they have not heard it? So it's our duty to speak the word to them, but it is the Holy Spirit that actually does the conviction and to bring souls to His kingdom. So what can I do every day to achieve this goal? If it means reading up something, asking the Holy Spirit to give you something to start working on, but I truly believe that the Spirit of the Lord is the one that speaks through us when we evangelize to people. We don't do it by ourselves, but you can ask for preparation tactics. What can I do? You can spend the time thinking about it. Even if you have just 5 to 10 minutes in a day, think about it. Thinking about things gives you ideas. It gives you a room to allow the Spirit of God to drop precious dimes in your soul on what to do. And then number 3, how often will I review my goal and the progress I have made? This is always the issue with New Year resolutions. We can start saying, I will do this, I will do that, I will do all of this. But when the year progresses, it's easy to just glide into the habits that have always ruled you. So that's the purpose of having a tracker. It can be setting a reminder in the next 2 weeks to ensure that I'm still on track on what I want to do. Have a progress checker. You can make it every 2 weeks, you can make it a month, but just ensure that you're not slipping away. And number 4, you ask yourself, what are the signs that show that I have lost focus? So this is very important because you can just become demotivated all of a sudden. You can get enthralled by the things happening around you or by another new idea, a new goal. How would you know that you're actually losing focus? What are the signs that shows that you're losing focus for you? You should know this, be aware of yourself, and put this to work. So before I end this session, I would give you an example of how your goal creation should look like. So this is one. I can say, for December, my goal is to increase in sensitivity to the inspiration of the Holy Spirit and to strengthen the fruit of diligence. I'll work on my sensitivity by journaling every day, whether I feel like or not. Then I would read the Bible at least 5 minutes every day and ask the Holy Spirit for guidance on what decision to make, even if it's just one every day, whether it's trivial or not. And then to work on the fruit of diligence, I would record all my commitments, put a deadline of action, but the first goal is of greater priority to me than the second goal. So I would track my progress every 3 days to ensure that I am not losing focus or I'm not being distracted by something else. And my signs of losing focus in my sensitivity to the Spirit of God is being too tired to actually do these 3 things I've mentioned. That is journaling, reading my Bible, and asking the Holy Spirit for a guidance on one decision every day. So if I have not been able to consistently do these 3 things in 3 days straight, then I know that I've actually lost focus. And for diligence, when I notice that for 3 days straight, I haven't kept to the commitments that I have given, then I know that I have lost focus. So this is how you create your relationship goals. Relationship goals are spectacular. They give you something to look forward to, and I hope that this podcast has actually helped you. Until next time.